It is now.
Okay. You have my permission to record, Chad.
Alright. Okay, so what steps did you have to take to start your own business?
To start business, well, I think in any business, you should have a business plan where you look at, the market and determine if there's a suitable market as far as potential to justify having that business. And part of that is doing, some financials to make sure that, it's gonna be viable, as far as, can you cover your expenses, will people pay? So, ideally you'd wanna do some research and talk to some people and so forth. On the specific starting a business, then there's, business licenses and, other stuff that you need to do to actually, get everything in place, getting phone lines, getting, if you wanna do stuff like that. So.
Actual setup.
Mm-hmm.
And so you went to college, right? Where did you go?
After I got done with high school, I was living in Michigan at the time. I went to a college in Michigan called Ferris State College. That's Ferris, F-E-R-R-I-S. They're now called Ferris State University. They had an automotive technology program, and I did their 2-year automotive technology program.
Okay. How long have you been in the automotive repair industry? Or did you do anything before that, or did you just go straight into working on cars?
Well, when I was younger, like your age, I liked to work on cars, and I was working on them, and my own cars, and that's kind of why I wanted to go to school, because I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
After I got done with Ferris, then I got a job, working in a dealership. I worked in one dealership for maybe like 6 months, and then I got a different job at a different dealership.
Okay.
That was closer to my house. And then I worked for like 16 years for a big company, like a technician and so forth, and then did a bunch of different things, customer service and technical service and so forth. And then when we moved to Durango, I wanted to find a way to take care of the family and stuff, so that was 2003, I think, is when I started this business.
Okay. And so what kind of experience do you look for in new employees?
Well, first of all, an employee should have, really good attitude and motivation. You want to look for somebody that's had a successful track record, things that they've done. Education, I think, is important. They have to be able to show that, this business is getting pretty technical, and that they can, that they can read, that they can study, that they can figure stuff out. So, yeah, having some background, having some motivation, but also I think in this particular field, if you're speaking of mechanics, if they're young, they really need to have gone to some school and got some training so that they know the background information.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you require any type of certification or anything like that?
We do not absolutely require that. It's nice to see. There is an organization called ASE, so that's for Automotive Service Excellence, and they do testing and so forth. And, it's good to see an individual that has done those tests and completed those tests and passed those tests and have that certification. sometimes you get somebody who says, I know all this stuff, I don't need to take any tests.
Right.
Well, if you know, why don't you take the test,
Yeah.
then you have that stuff. So it's really important for, I think, a technician, to have that, those credentials. And again, some people say, I know somebody, and they had all these certificates, and, when it actually came to working on a car, they didn't know, what they were doing. And that's
Right.
probably true, okay? But, I mean, on the other hand, if you're good, you know it and stuff like that, then, you need to step up and do all that stuff if you want to be the cream of the crop. If you want to be in
Right.
the top 10%, you need to show that you're deserving of that.
Makes sense. So, what would be kind of the drawbacks of working in this field?
If you want to be a mechanic, some drawbacks, physically, it can be, tough on your body. Um, just, standing, the bending over the cars, the bending underneath the dashes and so on. So it's physically, has some challenges, some lifting.
Right.
Also, I think, you need to be aware of some of the chemicals that you're around, the dust and stuff like that can be, so you have to take precautions, and use safety equipment as far as, and I believe in gloves, glasses, dust masks, if you're doing, making a lot of dust and stuff like that, so you have to take care of your body in that respect. But on the other hand, you might not get fat like you're sitting at a desk all day long. So
Yeah. Yeah. So, are you happy with your decision? Would you have wanted to do something else, or?
yeah, I'm happy with my decision. As we were talking the other day, in this particular field, you're always learning new things. You have new challenges. If you think you've seen it all, you have not, because, just about the time, like the car I was working on yesterday where it had the noise in it, and we put those
Yeah.
bushings in it, it still had some noise, so then we had to go back in and figure out what was going on, and do some more stuff to it. So yeah, you're always learning, lots of new challenges, and that's always, exciting, so.
What would be the hardest part for you of owning your own business or running a business?
Well, when you have your own business, a lot of stuff you can't really, the buck stops here as far as, when a person is an employee, they can kind of, check in and check out, and they don't have to worry so much about, if there's not enough business, is, how you're gonna make payroll and stuff like that. So there's, a greater sense of responsibility, and, probably more worries and stuff like that, so.
So why did you just choose to work on like Toyotas and Subarus and those types of cars?
Why work on just certain cars and not work on everything from A to Z? Because a couple different reasons. One, when you work on, the same kind of cars frequently, you get to be familiar with particular, pattern failures. You do procedures more frequently, which makes you more efficient, okay? If you're more efficient, then you can both, serve the customer better by not wasting a bunch of time and then like charging the customer for, what you're trying to learn. It's also when you're more efficient like that, then you can be more effective at that job, and, the money is hopefully a little bit easier. You don't have as many, challenges. People also see that when you specialize, that if somebody, for instance, owns a Toyota, I've had people say, oh yeah, I've heard you're the guy that knows the most about Toyotas.
Well, I think that's about all I have for you.
That's it?
Yep.
That's good, those are very good questions,
Thanks.
actually. And, I mean, you're more than welcome to ask me questions too, you know, and you have already, you know, I think been asking different questions.